You read the title right. I was 3 pips off a mil in prop firm funding, and it just all went wrong after that. If you guys want to get a recap of every single week, go into the link in the description. My Discord, I am sharing everything week on week. Not on here anymore. YouTube will be for special occasions where I do show my journey, but everything's going to be in there, so link in the description. Funded next at the start of this day here. Where were we? A couple weeks ago, I had the start of the day equity of 208.5, which is a 4.3% profit. I got up to 209.8, so I was 0.1% off. Reversed, took 6 losses in a row, ended up now 5% down on phase 2. I've also blown another phase 2 that I was in. The first time I've ever blown a phase 2. I'm always here to share my whole journey, and this is what I say. What am I now? 2 years into my prop firm journey, and I'm still having new things happen to me that's never happened before. And I'm going to get humbled by the market, and I keep getting humbled, but it's good lessons, and that's what I want to take from it. You can't have the higher highs without the lower lows at the end of the day, and this is what I'm here to show. I am going into next year in a very good position, and I'm really confident of my strategy, but it's been very top heavy in the first half of this year, and unfortunately, that's the way some strategies are. You never know how they're going to play out across the year. But let's show you the live data now, because going into this, it will give a reflection of where I've been. October was amazing. Look, remember this. I was in drawdown from the very start of July. These trades that I won, only got one near the end of October. I had about a 2 to 3 week win streak in that 3-month period for me to go back in to just take 6 losses in a row. 4 in the same week. I always have 1 or 2 of them a year where I just lose 4 in 1 week because I trade both EU and GU. If I deem them to both be confirmations, then I'm going to have losses. But you guys know, like, I'm always going to get out of these drawdowns, and I'm risking 0.5% on all my prop firms at the minute. Going into next year, I'm going to cycle, but my main goal at the minute is to just risk low, not let the stress get to me. I'm buying more challenges. I am going for more challenges, by the way, and this is what I'm realising as well. Like, I do go higher risk on the challenges because now I've got the funding to, and I've got the money backed up for it, and now I've just blown an account. It's alright because I've just bought 2 more, and even though I've took 1 loss to start it, I'm buying these challenges in a mega drawdown. But if you guys don't want to do that and you don't want to keep failing challenges, I have a blueprint of exactly how to never fail a prop firm challenge. Again, link will be in the description. It's crucial to have this blueprint when you're first navigating the markets and getting your first few funded accounts, that you don't lose confidence by blowing and blowing. The idea is to risk in a meaningful way that you can replicate over the long term and onto your funded accounts. I'm in a privileged position where I can risk high, and I do want to blow the challenges quickly, or now I want to pass them quickly, because the difference between me having an extra funded account or not isn't really that much of a difference to my overall capital. But yeah, very close to the mil funding. It was never going to be that easy. When is trading never going to be that easy, though? You're going to get gifted that. And I'm just getting shown that, yeah, you nearly got it, but we're not going to give it yet. You've got to work harder for it. So I am going to work harder for it. The caliber between a 6 and 7 figure funded trader is massive in my eyes, because a 6 figure funded trader is anything from 100k. 7 figure funded, you're looking at a mil, and you need to keep the mil to stay 7 figures. So of course it's a whole different level that you've got to reach there. And not many traders can say they're 7 figure funded, and I won't be able to say that right now. But I'm still in a phase 2. I'm down 5%. What do I need? 10%. All I need is like a phase 1 pass in theory, and then I've got that mil on funding. Funded accounts and challenges will be shown at the end of this video. I'm going to go through exactly where these losses were taken in the last few weeks. I'm going to focus on the last 5 losses, which were over this week. I took 1. Last week I took 4. I was banking on that DXY upside. That's all I was doing, man. Like, trying to anticipate upside. But remembering one thing, and if we really break this down, yeah, for where we are right now, is we're just stuck between the low that we formed at the end of June and this high that we formed at the end of July. We're in a consolidating market. I don't make profit really in a consolidating market, and it's been proven that I don't. Whereas when we're trending, that's the time for me to capitalise. So I'm not going to get all in my head about why am I not doing well, because I know that I don't do as good in these market conditions. So it's just been the way it is. And here we go. Banking on DXY upside, was looking for potential fill of this imbalance to go up. And there's one thing that I realised on the daily time frame as well. When I was looking at this, I was going on the daily, right, prices made a pullback. We failed to come up, but we made this Friday low, so I was banking on the fact that we could take this out, continue back up. I already knew going into this week, yeah, if we were going to tap this high without coming down, there was a high chance we're just going to see downside the whole week. I've seen it enough times, but I still took the trades, and maybe in hindsight, looking back, you can say all these things, but I normally just stick to what I know and just take it, because I really can't trust myself a lot of the times to be too discretionary. That's the simple fact of it. I'm not that kind of trader. I'm a little bit discretionary, but I'm mostly mechanical, and I like being mechanical, and I leave it up to the market. So yeah, EU, looking for downside. It looked good. It engulfed the previous candle, but Remember that week that I last went through? We never took this liquidity. Liquidity was stacking up there. We were in this daily FVG, and I pretty much was looking for that Friday break as my first position to go into that, trying to grab that move for this high. First stop loss I think was around 25. Second position was covering it, just looking to play down to that sell target. 35 pip was my second overall move. There we go, 35 pips. That was my plays on the EU for that week. And I was expecting a previous weekly high, which at that point I think was over like around, was up here to be respected. That was my whole idea, so that was it. And we're going to go through what happened there. GU, to be fair, GU was looking good, but again, every time in this second half of the year that it's looked like it's going up, it's gone down. Looks down, it's going up. It's been the same for EU. EU stuck in a huge range on the weekly. It's disgusting. This was my trade coming into this week that I lost, but I'm going to show you what I was looking for. We had this low here. This is my analysis. We broke through that for the first time after 3 taps. We left this weekly FVG, so in my head we're coming down to that low. It was really nice play. In my head that this was going to be a nice sell. First position at the daily. FVG, which was around here. I think we had about a 40 pip. We had 2 40 pip stop losses here. So second one covering, just coming higher. And obviously I know on GU, like looking at where we are, I'm not stupid. Like I know that we're in a huge daily bearish leg. That started all the way up here. That's why I've got it marked in. Just look at how low I'm selling. Just use a bit of intuition, man. Like, come on. You're looking like you're going to go down. The weekly didn't really give you any significant liquidity upside rejection because the week started here and it just went down every day. And then we come into this daily POI. So yeah, we can just see what happened here this week. Just start off on this week though, when we saw DXY tap the level again and it didn't go up. It didn't take that out to go up. I just knew we were in for a tricky week. And then look at the rest of that week. Bearish. EU. Just got absolutely decimated on them 2 positions. GU the same thing. So yeah, going into this week, I was still liking GU sells for higher entries. Could have maybe waited for a bit more of a confirmation, but it was a really hard one to navigate because I was still not bullish, and I'm not going to be bullish now until we break this weekly fill level. EU, I knew at this point we have to come higher, so I was going to sit out of any trades. This whole week at the minute has actually broken through into this liquidity, but we're still not really showing signs of slowing down right now. Therefore, this could be taken out, and it wouldn't be far off saying that EU could be back to being bullish again in the way I look at it. But look, do I want to be, I'm in a 6 loss streak, yeah? Do I want to be trading this range the rest of the year? No. Like, I'm not willing to just give my money back to the markets for a potential win. I'd rather stick to GU, which is a lot clearer, and I'd really have to see a lot for EU to be traded because all I've done in this area, doesn't matter whether we're at the highs or lows, yeah? All I've done since we've entered this area, between the overall high that was pinned initially, which was what, June, to this, same thing as what DXY was in. Since we've been in this area, I've just lost. Overall, I've had a few wins, but I've been losing more than I've been winning. And what is the harm of me sitting out? Oh, well, the fact that I might not take trades, well, so what? Because I'd rather not take trades than just lose now. I've realised that. I've already given these enough sells, like, we're trying to sell in here, lost, got a few wins on the sells here, tried to play continuation sells here, just not playing out. Now, obviously, we are very bullish on higher time frames. If we can't break this low, then we're still going to potentially put in new highs, which is kind of crazy to think. But yeah, that's the way it's been. It's been really choppy. So making that decision to sit out was the right thing on EU this week. For GU, though, I just, yeah, took another loss. Price yesterday come up massively, took me out. I had an 85 pip stop as well, gave myself some nice breathing room into this kind of daily area, which I really liked. But that was not playing out either, and you can see the daily structure is bullish now. We have the break of that lower high, we came down, failed to make a new low. So we are going up. So yeah, really not confident whether I'm going to be looking for any more sells now. I've only took sell actually since the start of August, which is mad to think. But really not a good second half of the year. The first half of the year was a lot better. And overall, I'm just learning for next year because I just know I've not traded this full strategy for a whole year. And every time I slightly tweak it, it's messing up the probabilities. And it has been a very top-heavy year. Sometimes it's like that. You don't know when the wind's going to come in. Obviously, now I've just got to get out of drawdown. Another thing I always say, you spend 90% of funded accounts in drawdown. That's the truth of it. No matter what, Because as soon as you get profit, you withdraw it, then you're going to hit a loss streak, then you've got to claw out the loss streak, then you might get the small payout, then you go back into a loss streak because what got you from being in massive drawdown to getting a payout was a big win streak. And it's just constant evolution of back and forth. And this is why traders can't deal with the psychology of being in drawdown. But you are going to be in drawdown 80-90% of your funded accounts unless you do look to potentially cycle them. So just deal with the drawdown. Like, I've had massive loss streaks here. All these loss streaks are for me to learn going into the back end of this year, do some more work. And I'm in a good position. Like, this is the thing you don't realise is that how many of you guys have had these loss streaks like me and you're sitting there now with no funding to end the year? The only reason why I've kept my funding is because I've risked low and I've not got caught up in a loss streak. And I realise that, yep, they're going to happen. And look, if any trader looked at this year, they'd say I'm a shit trader, more than likely. But yeah, I've nearly 10x my funded capital and I'm nearly hitting that 7 figures. So say what you want about me, I don't really care because I know my strategy works. I know in the long term it'll do well. And that's all I really care about. Let's go to the accounts. Because look, the grand scheme of things, because I only trade GU on FTMO, I'm only down 1.5 and 2.25%. That's 2.25, that's 1.5. Absolutely nothing. I actually picked up a hypergrowth. Did show some guys in the Discord that I'm in this. I'm going to risk. So what this is, it's practically a one step, but it's somewhat of an instant funding. You need to hit 10%. Every time you hit 10%, your account doubles, which is huge. And I thought Fiverr's one of my favorite prop firms. Let's just go for this hypergrowth. And you can see if we click on it, I've had one trade so far, and that's been a loss. Every time you hit 10%, you double up. So you can see over, let's say a 3 to 5 year period, which I'm looking to do, I can hit that $500,000 or over $1 million in funding with this certain plan. And I'm going to risk 0.5%. When you get to this 40k funded, you actually get 50% profit split. So in that way, it's an instant funding, $1,000 plus a refund, which was, this account was like $800, $700. So very expensive for what it is, but I'm playing the long game with it. I'm just going to risk 0.5%. So it's practically like, I've got potentially is it 5% max drawdown? So I've got 10 losses on this. So this is going to be fine for me to do, I think. I think I'll hit this target by the end of summer next year, which is going to be 10% on risk low. I see it as a bit of a challenge, really. It's a little bit like a long-term plan, which I like. High stakes is down quite a lot. Somewhat down what we took here, just losses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 L's. So I'm down, risking 0.5%, 3% on this. I do have a bit of credit in here that I can pull out if I do manage to get back into some profit to get a payout soon. Funded next, this is the account, the phase 2 that I showed you that was nearly passed. I'm down 5%, which the funded account is also, well, it's only down 2.5% because I've had 5 losses on it. So it's not actually that bad. This is what I mean. Like, it looks like I'm in a really bad drawdown streak again, but because I've dropped my risk on the funded accounts, they're not doing bad at all. And I feel really comfortable in the funded accounts at the minute. That's the truth of it. Bright funded, I've breached that account. Not my favourite prop firm. Did end up losing this. I just took 6 losses in a row. That one is done. So I won't be going with another Bright funded challenge. I'm quite happy just letting that go. I've picked up another funding rock challenge now, which we can see. This is a 25k that I've been playing about with, which has been for free. Given that one. This is another one that I've purchased. So at the minute, I'm down 2%. I'm risking 2% on this challenge. Obviously, you've got the funded account, which is down quite a bit. This one's down also, what are we looking at? 2.5%, yeah, 2.7%. So you can see that. Really, in the grand scheme of things, with 10% drawdown, this isn't that much of a loss. And I've got loads of time to claw it back. Obviously, going into next year, I would like to be back at break even. Would like to get payouts to finish this year. But I'm not going to take trades, like I said, on EU especially, if it's not setting up really nicely. So who knows what the next year has to offer. I think I've been really unlucky with certain challenges that I've been in massive drawdown streaks and I've had to just see maybe 4 or 5 challenges go this year. I've only passed a couple. But that is the way the cookie crumbles when it comes to trading, and you've really just got to be accepting of the way the market moves at certain times of the year. And if you've missed the good periods of the year, then you just got to know that you missed them. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Check out my Discord down below for more frequent updates and also get involved in the community. And download my playbook if you haven't had the opportunity to do so. Take care, guys. See you in the next one. Peace.